to talk about fire safety. Now, before I tell you how to handle a fire, I think you should know the elements of a fire. The three elements of a fire are fuel, heat, and oxygen. Anywhere that those three things are together, you can have a fire, so you've got to be careful. The first thing I'm going to talk about is RACE, R-A-C-E. The R stands for rescue, so if there's somebody else there that you can't get out on their own and you need to get them out, you get them out first. After that is the A, which stands for alarm. You push the fire alarm, or if there's not an alarm, you call the operator. Next is C, contain. You close all windows and doors and put a blanket or something over the fire to contain it. The E can stand for either evacuate, which means if you can't handle the fire, if the smoke is too much and it's hazardous, you get out. Or it can stand for extinguish, which that is if you can handle the fire. If it's a small enough fire, you take the fire extinguisher nearby and put it out. Now, if you're going to extinguish the fire, you have to keep in mind PASS, P-A-S-S, which is how you operate a fire extinguisher. First is P, you pull the pin. Next is A, you aim at the base of the fire, not at the top, or else you won't be able to get the oxygen away from the fire. The next is the first S, which is squeeze the handle. Then is S, which is sweep from side to side at the base of the fire until the fire is extinguished. Now we've covered fire safety. Now it's time to move on to chemical safety. First we're going to talk about MSDS, which are Material Safety Data Sheets. They contain things like the manufacturer's name and address, the safety exposure limits, the chemical name, health hazards, the flammability level, and the reactivity level. You want to look at this whenever you're dealing with any kind of chemical so that you know just how much to use, what the hazards of it, and anything else you need to know. Next, we're going to talk about PPE, Personal Protective Equipment. This contains things like eye protectors, face shields, protective gowns, and stuff like that to protect against infectious diseases. Now, there are a few things you need to keep in mind when it comes to chemicals. 1, never use unmarked containers because you don't know what's in them. 2, never mix chemicals. Mixing chemicals can cause toxic fumes and the like. Also, never just throw away a chemical because you don't know what it is, you don't know what it could do and react with and stuff. It could do stuff like melt the plastic in the trash can or catch all the sinks on fire. Next we're going to talk about back safety. First thing you need to know is you need to keep your back straight and look straight forward, keeping your spine aligned and keeping you from hurting yourself. Also, always lift with the legs. Your legs are stronger than your back and aren't going to hurt as easily. When you're lifting something, you need to keep a wide base of support by putting your feet shoulder width apart and squatting instead of bending over the back. Don't twist when you can turn. Exhale when you're lifting or exerting force, tighten your abs, and when it's possible, push, pull, or slide instead of lifting. Lastly, we're going to talk about electrical safety. First, electricity takes the shortest path to the ground. And there are these things called grounded cords that have the third prong so that it does take the shortest path to the ground. One thing to know, never rip the third prong off to stick it into a two-pronged socket. That doesn't work. It's very dangerous. Also, never use frayed cords because you could easily electrocute yourself and the electricity will go through you if it can get to you. Now, be careful with water because water and electricity do not mix. Very easy way to get yourself electrocuted once again. Lastly, do not plug a cord in across a hallway because somebody could trip, you could step on it, and when you step on it, you break the cord, which can cause a fire or someone to be electrocuted. Off profusely.